Hello everyone, I am Mahesh Mahapatra, a third year undergrad student of computer science here at Bennett University in Greater Noida. My primary interests lie in the field of ML optimization, computer vision and ethical AI. And today I'll be talking with you about algorithmic bias in AI. So without any further ado, let's get started. Algorithmic bias in AI would be a talk on how AI algorithms are constructed and how bias gets added to them and why it should matter to us. Now, before we continue, I would like to say a few words about my university, Bennett University, and thank them for providing me the opportunity to work on this video. Now, Bennett University is one of the top ranked private universities in India with a vision to become a center of excellence comparable to Ivy League colleges and develop a benchmark in higher and professional education sectors, and to provide a research driven academic environment to students looking for a well-rounded academic experience with enhanced employability prospects in a sustainable competitive environment. Again, a huge thanks to Bennett University for providing me with this opportunity. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. So what is an algorithm? An algorithm could be seen as a set of instructions that a computer follows to accomplish a task. So here is a simple algorithm that sequentially checks whether the marks of a student is above 40 or not and gives him a grade based on that. AI ML. Artificial intelligence or machine learning, these terms are often used synonymously and could be thought of as an advanced form of these algorithms. These algorithms churn through tremendous amount of data and find patterns which could sometimes be too hard for a human brain to comprehend, and use those patterns to build classifiers or algorithms that make decisions on our behalf. Now, these algorithms could be as simple as a set of rules, or they could be complicated models where features are automatically assigned weights. Now, these algorithms are mostly very complex and mathematical in nature and are sometimes hard even for the experts to understand. Now, to understand bias, let me ask you a simple question. What comes to your mind when I tell you the word nurse? Now, most of us may have pictured someone around this picture. Now, this is bias. The fact that we associate gender to a job role is bias. Now, bias is an inclination towards a particular thinking or thought process. We experience it many times in our lives, like when we associate or think of a gender based on a job or a role. Statements like "I think a man would be suitable for this role as it is quite laborious" imply bias. Now, the origins of these biases in humans could possibly be due to prejudice, hate, or ignorance towards a particular community or person. To sum up what we have discussed until now, algorithms are a series of steps, and AI could be seen as a complex algorithm with a lot of mathematical calculations. So AI is objective, right? And bias is clearly inclined thinking. So now, how can bias get into algorithms which are objective in the first place? And the main question here is, how is AI biased then? Now let me tell you about an algorithm that was biased. Now, facial recognition systems are at the center of many applications which put security at a priority. Now, these algorithms should be highly accurate in recognizing human faces. But what if these systems were flawed? What if these systems were not functioning as expected? This is what happened when researchers at MIT tried to test these models on people of color, and these were the accuracies of some of the best state-of-the-art models being used at various organizations like Microsoft and IBM. Now, as it is evident from these accuracies, these models were not accurate enough when dealing with females, and the accuracy drops even more when these females belong to the black community. Now, why does this happen? Why are these state-of-the-art models from some of the most technologically advanced research organizations failing to identify women, and more so people of color, when they perform almost flawlessly when detecting lighter-skinned males? So now the main question is, how did these machines get biased in the first place? So remember data, like I said previously, at the center of these machine learning algorithms is data. These algorithms churn through tremendous amounts of data to find patterns in it. Now, this is where the bias gets added to these models with the data at many stages. Now, this could happen at the data collecting or sampling stage, or while selecting features to predict from the dataset, or even while deciding on what we want to predict. So bias mostly creeps in through the data. Now, data, if modified at any stage, could inject bias into the algorithm. This could happen at any stage. Now, the first kind of bias which happens occurs at the very beginning of the process at the stage of data collection. Now, when we capture data from the past which was treated with bias by a human, like how in the past marginalized communities such as blacks were mostly arrested and sentenced because of racism being prominent in America historically. Now, so if these people's reports were fed into a AI model to predict whether a person could be a future convict or not, the system, because of the fact that most of the data it has shows a black person more prone to being arrested, would go on to predict in a similar biased manner. Now, another great example of this would be what Amazon did. Now, Amazon planned to build a model on its historical candidate data for its internal recruiting. For this, they used their past candidate data for the purpose of training on an AI model. Now, on working with it, they found that the model was not rating its candidate for the role of a software developer or other technical posts in a gender neutral way. Now, this happened because the data on which the model was trained on vet applicants by observing patterns in resumes submitted to the company over a period of 10 years. Now, most of these applicants were men, so this led the model into understanding that male candidates were more preferable, and it started penalizing resumes which included words like woman. For example, female candidates who mentioned on their resumes that they were women football team captains were given a negative score by this model. Another kind of bias which occurs is representational bias. Now, this kind of bias occurs when during data collection we are more focused on a particular class or section of the population and end up with having very less or almost no data on other minority populations. A great example for this is what Microsoft and other tech firms did with their facial recognition model. Now, the data used to train these facial recognition models was mostly based on white faces and predominantly male faces. Now, this led to issues while detecting darker skinned faces. Now, another issue was researchers working on identifying fake profiles on social media platforms were using a database consisting of first and last names of users as its training data. Now, on testing this further, the researchers found that the model was considering only names within the database as real profiles and most profiles in the database and labeled all the others as fake profiles. Feature selection is also another way through which we could add bias to our model. Now, this depends on what data we have and how much of this data are we giving to the model to work with. Now, feature selection is very much exposed to bias because selecting features that could indirectly imply bias to the model could also creep in unknowingly. Questions in survey forms like neighborhood, locality, annual income could indirectly point to a particular race in some cases and bring about bias to our models. When talking about proxies, Goodhart's law, which would be quite apt about these proxies, states that when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. Now, questions like will a student succeed in college, will a job applicant be productive, are not a measurable quantity. So for these, we use proxies. Proxies are features from our data sets which are correlated to our outcome, and hence we try to predict those when the actual outcomes is not a measurable quantity. So the problem with these proxies could be understood in a recent paper titled "Does Machine Learning Automate Moral Hazard and Error?" So in this paper, the goal of the researchers is to investigate which factors in someone's medical record are most predictive of a future stroke. However, the researchers found that several of the most predictive features, such as accidental injury records or a benign breast lump or a colonoscopy, don't make sense as risk factors for a stroke. So just what were the actual risk factors according to the model? Now, what turns out is that the model was just identifying people who utilize healthcare a lot. Now, the researchers didn't actually have data of who had a stroke. They had data about who had access to medical care, chose to go to a doctor, were given the needed tests, and had the billing code added to their chart. But a number of factors influence this process, like who has health insurance or can afford their copay, who can take time off work or find childcare, and gender and racial biases that impact who gets accurate diagnosis, cultural factors, and more. As a result, the model was largely picking out people who utilized healthcare versus who did not, instead of actually identifying who were prone to stroke or not. So now, why should you care about these algorithms when you can't even understand most of it? Now, understanding these algorithms is even more important now because these algorithms are being used by many local and central governing bodies for the allocation of resources to a particular locality. Also, these bias, if not treated, would reinforce the already existing social tensions and inequality in the society by amplifying these biases. This becomes even more important because these algorithms run on a feedback loop. Now, a famous case about this feedback loop comes from recidivism models, which are models designed to predict if an inmate will end up back in jail based on some features including location, sex, probability of family members going to jail, and crime committed. We might find that our model is particularly biased against a certain ethnicity and gender. Now, why is this? If a black man in a certain neighborhood are more likely to go to jail because of the color of their skin and their gender, then the model will pick this up. But why are they more likely to go to jail? Is it because their underlying distribution of committing crime is higher than a white female in another neighborhood? Or is it because historically our justice systems were more prejudiced against this group and takes actions against them at a much higher rate? Now this data, which is biased, is sent to the model and is used as another training data point to train the model, and the bias becomes even more prominent and starts targeting only these particular communities. So if these models can be so easily biased, why don't we just go ahead and drop the idea of using these models? Surely algorithms are not objective as we thought and can be coded to harden biases under the guise of technology. Now what people need to understand is the fact that artificial intelligence is currently at a crucial stage of being adopted by people around the world. Now if these algorithms are not robust and have bias inbuilt into them, they would increase the already existing tensions among various socio-economic groups around the world. Now this would lead to people losing trust on such systems, which would arguably be one of the best scientific and technological advancements of the current century. Bias could be mitigated if dealt with in a responsible manner and not underestimated, and is not something which could hamper the large scale adoption of these algorithms, which have been proven to provide a comparatively easier and safer life to people around the globe. Now, things could start by simply asking questions like, why did this algorithm make this decision? What consequence would exist if this decision is biased? Asking these simple questions could help build responsible AI. So you feel that you want to learn more on these algorithms? I highly recommend you to check these books. These books do not require you to come from a technical background and underline how these algorithms affect our day-to-day life using simple words. Now, Weapons of Math Destruction by Cathy O'Neil is a wonderful book on what applying AI everywhere could result in. The Age of Surveillance Capitalism by Shoshana Zuboff talks about how simply browsing actions are being tracked and how these big tech companies are using bias models to create a picture of us. Also, these documentaries on Netflix and Amazon Prime could be a great starting point as well. Lastly, thanks for hearing me out. Do let me know your views on this on the comment section, and thank you.